There is a man you will never meet, dead almost 2,000 years, who knew something about you that you do not know about yourself yet. He knew why you keep failing at the same thing. He knew why the promises you make at midnight dissolve by noon. And every single night, alone by the light of one lamp, he performed a quiet ritual that fixed it. A ritual so small you would walk right past it, and so powerful it turned an ordinary man into the most disciplined human being of his entire age. If you adopted only one Stoic habit and threw away every other piece of advice you have ever been given, this would be the one. It takes 5 minutes. It costs nothing. And the man who built an empire on it was no genius of willpower. He was tired, anxious, and surrounded by people who wanted him dead. He just refused to end a single day unexamined. Hold on to that man. We will come back to him and to the strange thing he wrote in the dark, because what he was really doing was not what it looks like. Here is the core idea, and it is uncomfortable. Most people do not live their lives. They repeat them. The same argument in different clothes. The same flinch when the phone lights up. The same broken vow to start tomorrow. And tomorrow arrives and nothing has moved because nothing was ever looked at. You cannot correct a course you refuse to read. You cannot fix a mistake you will not name. Discipline is not built in the gym at 6 a.m. or in the cold of a January resolution. It is built at night, in silence, in the one moment you are willing to be honest about the day you just lived. I call this practice the evening reckoning. Not a journal, not a diary of feelings. A reckoning, a settling of accounts between the person you intended to be this morning and the person you actually were by dark. 3 questions, asked of yourself like a fair judge questions a defendant he happens to love. What did I do well today? What did I fall short? Will I meet differently tomorrow? That is the entire habit. And inside that small, stubborn honesty lives the root of every discipline you have ever envied in another human being. Now the man in the dark. His name was Marcus Aurelius, and he was the emperor of Rome, which sounds like power, but meant plague, war on the frozen frontier, betrayal, and the crushing weight of a world that answered to him alone. He could have anything. He could not, by force, become a better man. So at the end of each day, he did something no law required of an emperor. He sat down and put himself on trial. Where was I harsh today when I could have been kind? Where did anger steer me instead of reason? Where did I chase what I cannot control? He wrote these reckonings only for himself, never meaning a single line to be read by anyone alive. He was not writing a book. He was performing the habit. And here is the part history loves. Those private nightly notes survived. We call them the Meditations now, one of the most quietly powerful books ever written. It was never a masterpiece he sat down to compose. It was the residue of a man doing the evening reckoning, night after night after night, until the practice itself had carved him into something unbreakable. He did not have the discipline first and then journal. He journaled, and the discipline grew. Let me bring this into your actual life, because a Roman emperor is easy to admire and easy to ignore. Start with the thing that quietly eats you, the scroll. The anxiety that does not announce itself, but hums under everything. The reflex of reaching for the phone before your eyes are even fully open. The hours that vanish into a feed you will not remember by morning. You try to stop. Willpower failed because willpower is a muscle you spend all day and have nothing left by night. But the evening reckoning asks a different, smaller thing. Tonight, you simply notice, how many hours did I give away today, and to whom? Name it, not with shame, with accuracy. The Stoics knew that what you observe, you begin to govern. You cannot manage a habit that hides in the fog. The reckoning drags it into the lamplight, and a thing seen clearly every night slowly loses its grip on you. Now the work, the project you keep almost starting, the procrastination that feels like laziness but is really fear wearing comfortable clothes. Marcus woke each morning and told himself, plainly, that he did not rise to lie warm under blankets, but to do the work a human being is made for. That is the famous half. The forgotten half came at night, when he checked whether he had actually done it. This is the part everyone skips. They set the intention in the morning and never audit it in the dark. So the intention floats away, unaccountable, free. The evening reckoning closes the loop. Did I do the work I said I would, or did I hide? Ask that of yourself once, and it stings. Ask it of yourself every night for a month, and you will find, almost against your will, that you start doing the work in the afternoon simply because you cannot stand to answer no to yourself again at bedtime. Honesty, repeated, becomes momentum. And this is the secret of consistency that nobody selling you a 30-day program will admit. You do not need more motivation. You need a nightly mirror. The body you want, the calm you want, the focus you want. None of it is built in one heroic day. It is built in the small course correction you make tonight because you are brave enough to look at today. Miss a day, the reckoning catches it. Drift an inch? You see the inch before it becomes a mile. That is how ordinary people become unbreakable. Not by never falling, but by never going to sleep pretending they didn't. The health, the consistency, the slow daily things, they all bend to the same law. A slave taught it before any emperor practiced it. His name was Epictetus. Born into chains, his leg crippled by a master, and he became one of the wisest teachers Rome ever produced. His instruction was almost cruel in its simplicity. When you lie down at night, examine the day. What did you do? What did you leave undone? Did you act according to nature or against it? Hold yourself to account, gently but completely. A man who owned nothing, not even his own body, found the one thing no master could take, the nightly authority to judge his own conduct and choose better tomorrow. If a slave could build an unshakable inner life out of 5 honest minutes in the dark, the excuse that you are too busy quietly dies. So let me put you in it. Imagine tonight. The lights are off everywhere else in the house. Before you sleep, you take 5 minutes, no phone, no app, just you and the day that is now finished and can never be lived again. You ask the 3 questions, and you answer them the way you want a judge to weigh you. Honestly, but not cruelly. You name one thing you did well, and you let yourself feel it. You name one place you fell short without flinching away from it. And you choose, out loud, in your mind, it does not matter, one single thing you will meet differently when the sun comes up. Now imagine doing that, not once but for 100 nights. Who is that person on the 100th morning? They are not someone with more willpower than you. They are simply someone who stopped sleepwalking. That person is available to you. The only thing standing between you and them is 5 minutes you keep giving to the phone instead. But here is what almost everyone misses, and it is the thing that quietly separates the people who change from the people who only ever read about changing. The evening reckoning is not a tool for punishment. The moment you turn into a nightly beating, a list of every way you are a failure, your mind will flinch from it and you will quit inside a week, the same way you have quit everything else. Marcus was ruthless about his faults and merciful toward himself in the same breath. That is the whole art. You are not the prosecutor hunting for a conviction. You are the judge and the one who loves the defendant. The reckoning works precisely because it is kind enough to survive. Honesty without cruelty. Accountability without contempt. That is the blade that cuts cleanly, night after night, for 40 years. And a blade that cuts cleanly is the one that reshapes a life. So return to the man in the dark, by his single lamp, putting his day on trial. Now you know what he was really doing. He was not recording his life. He was steering it, one small, honest correction at a time, until the corrections became a character and the character became unbreakable. That is the one habit, the evening reckoning. And here is your single rule, the only one you need. and no day unexamined. Whatever else you do or fail to do before you sleep, look at the day and choose tomorrow. Do it once, and it is interesting. Do it every night, and it becomes the quiet engine under everything you have ever wanted to become. The emperor did it. The slave did it. Neither of them was born disciplined. They were built in the dark, 5 minutes at a time. And so can you be. If this gave you something worth keeping, subscribe. New Stoic wisdom every day. Tonight, in your day awake. And wake up someone better.